Hello everyone, in this video I'd like to discuss 2 plus V1 which is verb 1 afraid to do and preposition verb 4 afraid of ing for intermediate learners. It is the first video for the playlist intermediate learners as well as it is the first video for the topic in for this topic. Okay, so now before getting started we must understand the title. So now what's the title? So the title is this: 2 plus verb 1. Here you can see 2 plus verb 1. Here 2 is what? Here 2 is the preposition and here v1 is the verb 1, and before 2 any adjective can come. Like here you can see afraid to do. Here afraid is an adjective, to is a preposition, and do is a verb. And the most important thing is that after two often verb 1 comes. Often what? After 2 often verb 1 comes. After 2 often verb 1 comes. Keep in mind. Okay, that is it will be helpful to make sentences while speaking and in your examinations too. It is the very important thing. Okay, so now let's proceed it further. Now the second thing is this one. Here you can see that is preposition plus verb 4. Here preposition, and here preposition can be anything like of, and after of always verb 4 must come. Okay, and these are the things that must be kept in your mind, and these are the things will come in the upcoming videos too and in this session too. Okay, so and here before represents verb 4. Okay, and the most important thing, that is how can you identify whether the verb is verb 4 or not. So just keep in mind that to identify that whether a verb is verb 4 or not, just see whether ing is there at the last or not, at the last. Okay, like going, like going, we write going, so at last you can see ing comes. So this shows that it must be verb 4. Okay, and the most important thing is that it is for intermediate learners, but anyone can get a knowledge. Okay, and it is the first part. Okay, it is the first part, and several parts of this topic will be launched, so just stay tuned. So now let's get started. So now before getting started, let's see the content. So content first. Afraid to do verb 1. Afraid to do, and here do reference verb 1, and afraid of doing, and here doing reference verb 4. Okay, and at last we'll discuss something interesting. Okay, so now let's get started. So this is the first thing: afraid to do verb 1 and afraid of doing verb 4. Here as I discussed that do represents verb 1. Okay, and here doing reference verb 4. So, and the another thing that I discussed, that 2 is always followed by verb 1. Verb 1, just keep in, that is, just keep it down. And as I discussed that preposition plus ing which is verb 4, so here preposition comes off, and that preposition can be anything. Okay, so there are so many prepositions which are followed by verb 4, so it is one of them. So just keep it down and make notes of it. Now the other things. So now let's proceed further. I'm afraid to do something. It means I don't want to do it because it is dangerous or the result could be bad. We are discussing about afraid to do. Okay, I am afraid to do something. Yeah, that is they are as we often say that I am afraid to do something. So what it means? It means I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because it is dangerous or the result could be bad. Yeah, suppose that you are afraid of a cockroach. It means what? If you are afraid of cockroach, it means that you don't want to go near that cockroach because it is dangerous or the result could be bad for you because you are afraid of it. And um, and in fact I think cockroaches aren't so dangerous as we think, but I'm afraid of cockroach too. So now let's proceed it further. So we use afraid to do for things. So this is the very important point. Star mark. Start it. Okay. So we use afraid to do for things we do intentionally. We can choose to do them or not. So what it means? It means we use afraid to do. We use afraid to do. Okay, we use afraid to do for things we do intentionally. For things we do intentionally. It means that we can control to do them or not. We use afraid to do for the things that is under our control. It means you can choose to do them or not. It is just your keen, it's just your decision whether you want to do or not. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So now so everything will be crystal clear. Just discuss by the example. So just discuss the example. So the first example. So here you can see the first example says this part of town is dangerous. People are afraid to walk here at night. This part of town is dangerous. If something is dangerous, it means what? To we afraid to go near it. We are afraid to do it. So now here we are discussing about the part of town. So people are afraid to walk here at night. So what it means? It means that this part of town is dangerous. Therefore people don't want to walk here. Therefore people don't want to walk here. As the result could be dangerous. Okay, because it is dangerous. That is because it is dangerous. And the most important thing that I want you to note down is that so they don't. Okay, that afraid to walk. You can also make the structures by this on your own. So how it can be done? So just keep in mind. So that is the very important thing. So let it start. So to make any structure, it is very easy. Just for the structure, we need subject. Here you can see. Just see this thing. Here people subject or is helping verb. Helping verbs can be em or do does like that. Now after that you can see to, and after that you can see here afraid to walk comes, means afraid to just see. Okay, so here we can write afraid to, and you know that to always followed with verb 1, so therefore we can write just verb 1. We don't need to write that is do, that is go. Just we have to written here do to represent that it to represent verb 1 or v1. Okay, and after that just we can add object. Everything will be clear. I hope it is clear to you. You can make structures by on your own, and it will be crystal clear if you make sentences. If you make a sentences by on your own. Okay, so now let's proceed it further. Now the second one. James was afraid to tell his parents what had happened. Okay, so now what it means. So he didn't want to tell them because he knew they would be angry, worried, etc. James was afraid to tell his parents what had happened. It means that James didn't want to tell them about what had happened. It can be something bad. So because we know that if we share something to our friend, to our parents, which is bad or something like that of, so they would be angry or worried. So this is just okay. So I hope the meaning of all the examples are clear to you. So now let's proceed it further. Now here we have afraid of doing. Here we have doing verb 4. Here doing represents what? Verb 4. So here doing represents two things. First, that doing represents the verb 4, and another thing is that here doing representing that something is happening now, means we are doing something. Okay, so the two things. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let's understand their meaning. I am afraid of something happening. I am afraid of something happening. It means it is possible that something bad will happen. For example, an accident. It means what? It means I am afraid of something happening. Means we are assuming, or it is possible that something bad might happen. So in that situation, we use afraid of something happening. Means there is a chance, or there is a probability of something bad will happen. Okay, so in this case, we use afraid of. Okay, I hope clear. So now the most important, that one. We don't use afraid of verb 4. Here ing representing verb 4 as I discussed earlier. To identify whether the verb is verb 4 or not, just see whether ing is there at last or not, like doing. So like doing, here you can see ing is there. So ing representing it is verb 4. Going ing representing verb 4. So it's very easy. So let's come to the point. We don't use afraid of ing or verb 4 for things we do intentionally. Yeah, for things we do intentionally. It means that we don't use afraid of verb 4 for things we do intentionally. It means we can't use afraid of verb 4 the things that is not under our control. Okay. Mm, no, that is that things which are under control intentionally means that is you can choose to do them or not. If something is not under your control, suppose you are walking and there is a chance to fall, it means that that's not your intention to fall. It means you can't control it. Yeah, that is, you might walk carefully, but there will be some probability or chance of falling. So in that situation, we use afraid of verb 4. But the situations which are under our control, that we can choose to we can choose to we can choose to do them or not. So in that situation, we can't use afraid of verb 4. In that situation, we have to use afraid to verb 1 or afraid to do. Now let's have example. So I hope everything is clear till now. So now everything will be crystal clear, just have an example. So now let's proceed it further. So we have these examples. So now the first example is this one. The path was icy, so we walked very carefully. We were afraid of falling. The path was icy, so we walked very carefully. We were afraid of falling. It means what? The path was icy, so we walked very carefully, as it was possible that we would fall. as it was probability of falling. It means that this is the thing which is not under our control. Means that is, yeah, the path was icy, so we worked very carefully. Yeah, we know that there is a path, suppose that, so it's very icy, it's very icy, and we are walking, and we are walking so carefully, but there would be, but what happened, but the probability of falling even even less, but there would be the probability of falling. Okay, and that is not under your control. Just you can control is to walk carefully, just you can walk carefully. Okay, so in that situation we can use afraid of verb 4, we can't use afraid to. So I hope the region is clear, that is why to use afraid of verb 4 and why can't we use afraid to. So if you use, the sentence will be incorrect and the meaning will be incorrect. So and here I have written, and here as you can see that I have written that not we word afraid to fall. It means we can't use afraid to, we can't use afraid to fall, we have to use afraid of falling. I hope it is clear. So now let's discuss the second example. I don't like dogs. I'm always afraid of being bitten. It means what? I don't like dogs. I'm always afraid of being bitten. Here, being. Being is what? Being is verb for. Being is what? Being is verb for. Here you can see. So, being is here verb for, and being is the verb for of be. So, just you have to keep what? Just it's my suggestion to you. Just learn all the verb forms if you don't learn yet, or just you must make habit of revising everything, because verbs are the things which are very important, extremely important, whether you are writing, speaking, that is whatever. Verbs are extremely important, and how you can get it? Just open your Oxford English Grammar book. At last you will get it. Or if you don't have that book, just go online and search verb forms. So there everything is are freely available. You can easily get it. So now let's come to the point. It means that I don't like dogs, as there is a chance or probability of being bitten. It means that, yeah, I don't like dogs, so therefore I don't go near it. But they, and I'm always afraid of being bitten. It means that is I'm always fearful of being bitten by a dogs. Means there is a chance, there is a little, but there is a chance of being bitten because of my fear. It might be, suppose that if you are very brave, then there would be no any fear. Then in that situation or on that situation, you will not say that is I'm afraid of being bitten. You will say, or rather you will say that is I'm so braveful, I can fight from each and everything, I can go freely, I can come freely. Okay, so there is no any restriction there. So I hope it is clear. And another thing is that not afraid to be beaten, we can't use afraid to be beaten. The reason is that afraid to be bitten, it means that the situation is under your control, but in that situation is not under your control. It means that there is a probability, is that is suppose that. So let's have example. So let's have example, perfect example. Okay, so suppose that there is a path, so that is a very silent path. Okay, you are walking so peacefully, and and there is a eccentric dog. Okay, eccentric, or we can say the mad dog. And um, and to make the situation more worse is that the suppose that there is no any person there, and you are afraid of being, and you are afraid of dogs, as there is a probability of being bitten. Okay, so you are so afraid of dogs so extremely, and there is and what, and there is and that is eccentric dog. And then what would happen, then that is you are walking so carefully, you are that is you are thinking that I can, that is I might easily escape from here. You are, that is you are walking so slowly, that is we can use the word that is crawling. You are just crawling down there. But what happened, but due to your fear, there is, that is there will be a little, but there will be the probability of being bitten. So just due to your fear. But on the other hand, if you are very brave, even there are 10 of eccentric dogs, then you can easily escape. So that is the situation. And in this situation, the probability of being bitten by the dog will be very less in that situation. Okay, that is from that situation in which they just one eccentric dog. So I hope everything is clear till now. So suppose that if there's something is not clear, then you are free to watch the video again. Okay. So yeah, so now here you can see this is, so here we have combined the two things, that is here you can see, here we have the combined the two things. Here we have combined the that is combined the both things, afraid to do and afraid of doing. Here you can see afraid to do and afraid of doing. So now you might be thinking that we are making sentences individually, so can we combine it? Yeah, that is you can combine it. And yeah, that is as I discussed about the structure of afraid to, you too can make this structure of afraid of verb force. So how it can be, so it's very easy, just subject plus word, subject plus self in verb plus afraid, just have to write afraid. So here it is there. Okay, so afraid of plus verb form, just keep in mind of often follows with verb form. Okay, so just keep it, so that is just keep it down, note it down, and just keep it in your, let's keep it in your brain. Okay, so it's very extremely important, not very but extremely important. Okay, and at last you can just add word, just add objects, so this becomes a structure. By using this you can make so many of examples by on your own. Okay, now this thing, so you are afraid to do something because you are afraid of something happening as a result. You are afraid to do something, you are afraid to do something because you are afraid of something happening as a result. Because means there is a probability or chance of being something, of something bad happen. Okay, so now let's have example. I was afraid to go near the dog because I was afraid of being bitten. Here you are afraid to go near the dog. Why? What's the reason? Because there because you are afraid of something happening. Means that is you are afraid of being bitten. It means that there is a probability that the dog might bite you. There is a chance, little, but there is a chance. Why? What's the reason? The reason is your fear. So that's the reason, because you are afraid. If you are not afraid, then there would be no any fear. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So in that situation you can use afraid to and afraid of being situation, that is afraid of being, or that is afraid of for. So I hope everything is clear. So now this is the very special content, we can say, that is the very special content, something interesting now this time. Okay, so here what is something interesting, so the something interesting is this, that is a fact. Okay, the fingerprints of koalas are almost indistinguishable from human fingerprints. So it means what? It means the fingerprints of koalas are so identical from, or so identical to human fingerprints that we can't that is distinguish between them. Okay, that is whether it is of a human or koala, that is koala. So here you can see, so it's the very surprising fact here too. Here, just look at the image carefully, just look at the slide carefully. Here you can see that the fingerprints of collage as well as human are so identical. Just you have to do what? Just just look at this boundary line here. You can see, just ignore this dark spots. Just look at here, this spot. So this is spot which is in greenish in color, okay, which I have highlighted with a green ink. So here you can see they are so identical, isn't it? So at the cellular level, at the microscopic level, you can also see that is how identical they are. So identical here you can see. So this is the microscopic image. This is the macroscopic image of, we can say, the fingerprints of them. Okay, so this is very cellular level. Okay, if you are interested in biology, then you might know. Okay, so this is for something interesting. It is the interesting fact, you can also say. Okay, and thank you for watching my video. Likes and subscribe to my channel if not yet, and you too can follow us on Facebook, and we have our website, that is here you can see anandomclasses.blogs, that is blogspot.com. So from where you can get the notes, videos, etc., whatever the things you want. So see you in next video.